Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Happy Libra full moon. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. How are we doing today? Let us know in the comments. It's the full moon, like literally right now. So hope you're doing well.
Happy April Fools.
Indeed, it is April Fool's Day. Do you do that? Do you like prank people? I haven't pranked people in a while.
Is there a historical tradition for that? I
don't know. Let us know. Are you aware of a historical tradition or like?
Did anyone else think it was auspicious that we went to the moon today? That's kind of a weird date to pick, y'all. April Fools.
It is because we all know the moon is not what it seems, or at least not what they tell us. anyways, welcome. Today is Lunar Reflections. This is a show where we share stories that highlight the transits in real time, and really helping to understand and unpack the astrology of this moment and like the now. So yeah, it's all about like connecting with the cycles and working with the master plan, the divine plan, your higher self, your highest timeline. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jake. I am a hypnotherapist, a quantum guide, healer, futurist, if you'd like. I do one-on-one sessions as well as group experiences. So certainly if you're looking for some deeper insight in person or remote, check out the website.
And my name is Corbin. I'm a natal astrologer. My practice is rooted in the ancient techniques and wisdoms of using traditional rulerships. I also enjoy astrology for, like Jake was talking about, being able to see that cycle or like that chapter or era of your life that you're a part of and just breaking it down. I offer both natal consultations as well as forecasts that look at 1 to 3 years typically. Tonight, we're here in the moment. It is the Libra full moon, like right now going on. Moon's maybe rising in your time zone, depending on where you are inside the world. But anyways, Libra, 12 degrees of Libra. We have a bunch of stories this evening about balancing, finding harmony. Of course, it's Aries season, so there's some stories about fire because, Aries. Blowing bubbles. We're going to talk about bubbles. And a little bit of whimsy. A little bit of whimsy. And connect that all in with some of the symbolism of the astrology that's going on right now. We hope that you share some of your stories because, like, it's not about like just tonight, the full moon. We definitely know that this happens in a little bit of an orb of time that extends a little bit before and a little bit after, which is why we love meeting just kind of right in the middle of it to talk about what's going on rather than like 2 or 3 weeks beforehand.
Get in the present moment, y'all. And hello, Soul Tribe. Hello, Lynn. Hello, good to everyone. See you. Hello, Emma. I don't know. Did it happen? Did it actually happen?
I don't know. I actually think we are programmed at the same time as the space launch.
Incredible. Maybe. Is it happening right now?
It could be.
That's so funny. I love it. All right. Hello, Jody. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well.
We're all going to the moon on the inside, right, guys?
Going to the full moon. Nice. Yes. Stay away, clouds. We want to see it. Happy Libra full moon, y'all. All right. Before we dive into it, some big news. Big news. Some of you probably already know. Some of you might not. But the punchline of this is I'm doing 20% off of my QHHT sessions. So these are in person only. If you are in the Twin Cities area or within driving distance of the Twin Cities area and you want to have that in-person Dolores Cannon experience, do the quantum healing hypnosis technique with me, or if you have had one already and you want to have another one before what happens, grab a booking here. Let me pull this down because what is happening? We are moving, and some of you might have already heard this already, but we found our dream home. I think we can call it our dream home very safely. Yeah, it's so cool. It's literally such a dream.
That's why there's no background.
Yeah, that's why everything in our home is stripped of its pizzazz, but that's okay. Hello, Ken. Good to see you.
Hey, good evening.
But yeah, we're moving, and because of that, we're not moving horribly far. We're moving about like an hour and 15 minutes or so, an hour or so in the eastern north direction. City called St. Cloud. Well, actually, technically Sartell, but St. Cloud is the bigger area.
Yeah.
And we're so excited. It's going to be so cool. We are definitely looking forward to showing you guys the new place. But before that,
beautiful places to stream from at the new place.
Oh yeah, so many good places. It's gonna be so fun. But before that, next week we're going to be doing a show all about the move and the manifestation and how we did this, because it's kind of surprised us how well it worked. And so want to kind of share our experience, share what worked for us, and maybe some of it helps you to manifest your dream.
I mean, we've openly talked about this in like so many chats. Many people in the community have pulled cards on this. I feel like, like we should definitely be sharing the story, and it's really exciting. It's what our Aries new beginning is definitely about in this chapter right now.
Oh my God, it really is such a beautiful energy spot. It's on the Mississippi River, which, like, I just always think of it as like an artery of Mother Gaia. You know, it's a big old river, a big old energy line, a big old ley line. There's lots of activity there. The earth is wildly cool. The energy is going to be great. It's gonna be so fun. So,
but yeah, we definitely want to share like what we learned in this manifestation journey, and like what worked for us, with the hopes that it inspires and also works for you. It was just really surprising how it all came together in the end.
Super cool. So join us next week. I don't have that scheduled yet, but I will soon. I think we're doing Thursday. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's Thursday.
Working on it.
Working
through this move. It's a very busy time.
Oh yeah, it's a very busy time.
How busy has your Aries season been?
Oh my God,
a little check-in on that, because happy Astro New Year now for a little bit. And how is it going? It's definitely one of our first topics tonight to talk about some of the things that we've just been seeing out on the street and out of the corner of our eyes, because we've been very heads down, focused on our own thing. I don't know much about what's going on in the world right now.
Very little. Are you also in your own world? Because it might be the Aries energy. First topic of the night is Aries spotted in the wild, because there have been a few moments, like literally from the moment that Aries season started, where we looked at each other and we were just like, oh my God,
here it is.
There's that energy. Oof. As a Pisces, I feel like Aries sometimes tires me out, but we also, like, we all need the balance, right? The balance. And that's part of what this Libra moon is about, is that balance.
But that first day here in Minnesota, the weather was kind of nice, and without fail, there was so many children running around screaming. And I mean, they're very much in a joy mode and having a great time. But yeah, just the busyness of running around screaming definitely came in on day one, and the music.
Oh, and the music too, like day one of Aries season, and like our windows are just rattling. And I think it's just funny because with the move, we got our windows cleaned, and I swear like the dust or the grime or something was holding it in place, because we are extra like rattly as the music just booms by. And again, just shaking your head and going, well, they're having a good time, I guess.
Oh yeah. I mean, because Aries does connect us with, some of that fire and passion side of it, for sure. I know in our home, things have been a little extra spicy because cayenne is like flavor of the moment. But
I've also been spicing things a little aggressive.
Yeah. But also cumin.
It's great.
I think that's such a Mars warm, spicy, flavor. We just got this new cocoa chili seasoning, which has been really delicious and just kind of the right vibe for the moment. I mean, the energy shows up in so many different ways. These are kind of more small, mundane, everyday things, but hopefully that helps you to see and connect with it in your own world, drinking hot cinnamon spice.
Oh, absolutely.
We're drinking cinnamon tea in April. I don't know if that's it is the vibe.
It is the vibe. It very much is. And welcome everyone who is watching. Thank you, Carlos. Glad you're enjoying the stream. And yeah, we're not going to pull any pranks on you today. Talking with you. No April
Real
Fools
stories.
here. Oh my gosh. And Jody, I love that. Driving along the river every day. Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful.
What else about the
Well,
Aries
you were telling
energy?
me about the pool.
Oh yeah. As we were talking about the show today and getting ready for tonight, I was just reflecting on some of the happenings at the pool this morning. I part-time lifeguard, and there's just too many people just getting in the pool and like starting to swim without notifying the other person that was in the lane already. We have 4 lanes in our pool. It's not that large. And so if you're swimming alone, you're going to swim down the middle of the lane, right? But if you're sharing with someone, you got to coordinate. Are you going to split on the right or the left? Are you going to circle swim? Like, what are you going to do? And people just getting in and just starting to go and just head down, going for it. And I'm just like watching it to see if I need to like blow my whistle to like stop them from colliding. But luckily no one actually head-on collisioned. But we just joked about how that head-on collision is very Aries, right? The Rams butting head.
Yeah. When you said that, I was like, oh, it's too funny. And sometimes it is happening by accident right now because we talked about this in the last show, the horse blinders, or, maybe not seeing beyond what is immediately ahead of you.
Yeah.
So,
well, I feel like Aries can also be that like slightly self-centered to an extent, or they're like really focused on their own thing and doing their own thing.
Their own mission.
I don't mean it it can certainly be expressed negatively, but it can also be a very positive thing too.
Yeah.
Holding one's own. As Libra, I lose track of my individuality sometimes. And so I'm definitely leaning on that Aries energy to balance things out. So anyway.
It's about to get spicier though. Mars is coming back into Aries very shortly after this full moon here on April 9th. And so, that will definitely add more fuel to the fire for sure. That will make things sizzle a little bit hotter. The fire burn a little bit brighter because Mars is the ruler here. This is a really big, exciting energy. I wrote down the Emperor returns because it is just such a giant triumphant moment for any Mars ruled people. So like, Aries, Scorpio folks, it's a very exciting time. But of course, we're here talking about the Libra full moon right now, which is kind of like, how do we soften some of these loud musics that are maybe rattling your neighbors' homes, or some of the other ways that we're maybe just enjoying our own lives, but we are affecting the environment and the other people in the environment around us. And so it's kind of like, how do we soften and balance and harmonize all of this? And I think one of the things that we'll be talking a lot about tonight is empathy and compassion and being able to see things from a different perspective. And so when I think about all these like really fun, exciting Aries things that are happening, but could be kind of irritating, Mars can be really irritating or triggering. Other people are out having fun and you're maybe doing some hard work and you're not having fun. That can be triggering. But remembering this mentality of like, well, we all want to win. We're all in this together. We're all having fun. I often think about songs, and one that came up was by this DJ group from many years ago. And one of the main lyrics of the song was, there's a party and we're all invited, not just some of us, each and every one. And, it just reminds me that like, we cannot be excluding anybody in our journey that we are on. And that like, we're all in this together. But Jake's a Libra. You probably have a much bigger and better perspective on this.
I don't know. I was thinking about some of the ways that my Libra-ness can be both like a positive gift and like a detrimental, like bad thing. The being able to empathize with people or see things from multiple points of view. I feel like it's definitely helped at times, but also it can drive me crazy because how do you make a decision when you can see the valid argument in every side of the issue? And that's where some of the Aries like energy helps me to like root into my own opinions and what have you. But ultimately, like what I was thinking about this was like the kind of Libran hack of giving people the benefit of the doubt, like trying to think of them in the best light. Oh, they're not ignoring me. They're just busy with their own shit, right? And I think we are very much in this energy of like doing your own thing and like figuring your own stuff out, and you're passionate about it, you're excited about it, you're like putting a lot of energy into that, and not necessarily worried about communicating to everyone else like what's happening. You're just doing the thing, right? And some of that like excitement and that movement can be dizzying too. It can be like a little wild, and you don't always, I mean, I've had it a couple times. Like I've picked my head up. I'm like, oh my gosh, I should probably text that person or tell that person what's going on, or I should update that person. Did I tell that person this thing? I don't know. I'm just doing the thing. It's definitely an interesting energy right now, but I feel like that Libran quality of putting yourself in the other person's shoes is helpful when people are a little fiery and like it can get hot, because that helps to kind of cool things down.
I love Emma's comment here too, because absolutely there are some people out there that like the Aries energy comes through and they're ready to go. They're ready to go at it, you know, and there's a little bit more of a propensity. I'm losing my word. Propensity for like duking it out and going at it, you know, and making sure that you're coming from a heart-centered space and putting up the extra protection. Right now I'm hearing that in a lot of different lanes too, just because Aries pokes, we can all get poked a little bit more here.
Well, and I really love the idea of personal protection through amplifying and reinforcing your own energy field, your own toroidal field, which I feel like is like a pretty Aries thing to do, like your own energy, your own energy body.
We'll talk about this with Jupiter later. I love that. Yeah.
Okay, we'll get more into it later.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Beth. Glad you're enjoying it. Be
sure to
share with us, subscribe, and also share with us what's going on for you, what's resonating for you, what you're seeing, what you're experiencing. I mean, I feel like with these shows, there's always a moment where like, oh God, what are we going to say? What's happening? Do we even know? Is anything even happening to us? And then we start talking about it. We start writing things down. It's like, oh my God, it's so obvious. You like see it here, you see it there, you see it there.
Yeah.
So like, don't think you have to like search for it. Just like take a look at your life and what's going on and see what fits with the energies.
But again, in the show, we love to just point to like the really average everyday things that are happening, because those symbolically are representative of the bigger things, the internal things, the emotional, the personal, the collective, the global. It works on all scales here. And so one of our next stories definitely has to deal with the fire part, because we've definitely talked about this blazing new trails energy and like, you know, galloping into a new chapter of your life and starting something new and all of that big momentum that's going on. And this photo, we can pull it up, showed up in my family's group chat just a few days ago. I think it was this weekend. My brother and his boyfriend were doing like a controlled burn. They were doing some landscape management by clearly using a blowtorch, which I love. I think it's wild and kind of crazy and cool. But this, you know, the energy that I thought of immediately was like Saturn and Aries. You know, Saturn is definitely how we take care of our resource management kind of thing. It has a big relationship with that. And so, to be using flames to the fire element inside of Aries, I just thought was really funny, because at the same time,
it was so funny because literally earlier that day, we had driven past our neighbors and they were getting ready to do some lawn stuff. And we looked down the street, one block away, and they're doing the same exact thing. They're like blowtorching the lawn and like the pollinator garden in the middle of the intersection. And they're just blowtorching the whole thing. And I just thought it was so funny how like, I was like, is this like a trendy thing to do now? Is everyone like burning, like controlled burning their lawns? Is that maybe it is, or maybe it's just the Aries energy.
Kind of wild. Also in local news here, we have what is called the Herc in Minneapolis. It's a garbage incinerator. This is just more stories about things that burn things. And the Herc, well, I mean, people are protesting everything in the world right now, right? I mean, as Pluto gets deeper and deeper into Aquarius, into uncharted territory, new things are kind of being trudged up, and fire related things are being trudged up clearly. But the garbage incinerator here in Minneapolis, it burns like half of the garbage that we produce here in the city and pollutes the heck out of like a bunch of neighborhoods and makes it like really not great to like live with. And so there's a hunger strike that is starting here. And I just thought that that was timed with some of the symbolism of the astrology that's going on right now too. But just this idea of using passion, using our fire, using that to control the things around us, like they're not just clearing that yard for like willy-nilly things or the people down the street. They're clearing the path for something new to come up and to make space here. But we do have to remember in this kind of Libra moment where we're being asked to consider the other, like, wow, controlling fire is actually really hard to do. Other things might catch on fire. You might need to be really cognizant of the water or the emotions that go around that to manage what's going on there. Because passions can run awry, emotions can get all over the place. It's hard to contain somebody else's like chi or life force energy, or to direct somebody else's aims. And so there's just this sensitivity that's maybe required in working with fire. I'm going through this myself because I'm a pretty Mars heavy person. I have Mars right on my ascendant. And so that comes up a lot in my personality. And I have had a few moments recently where I am so passionate about what is in front of me recently that, well, it's coming up in anger for me. That's definitely a side that can come through when you're not in your flow or your fire isn't like burning maybe in a way that you want it to be, or struggling to burn, maybe doesn't have the right materials underneath it. And so that's really been something that's shown up just in the last few days here as we've been getting into this moon for myself. And, it's caused me to reflect on where is that heat coming from and what is that all about? So I'll probably share more about that as we continue here. But anger is a big thing that is blazing the trail to watch out for. Living testament.
Well, and exactly as Lynn says, the fire horse here, there's layers here. It's expressed in so many different ways. And I feel like on so many levels, the signs often point to the same thing. Yes. And it's
the convergence where you're like, aha.
Yeah. And I feel like we're at a cool point where we get to see that convergence a lot because of how we share so much of the different cultural traditions, the different schools of thought and ways that we can share information. It's cool.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if there's a fire burning around you, let it burn, grab your s'mores kit, try to make a good time out of it. Try to make s'mores out of it.
Oh my God, I want a s'more now.
I know, right? Treat yourself at the same time. We're going to continue to like empathy, compassion, unconditional love, especially for yourself, is so important. The relationship with self is definitely part of the relationship with others.
Oh yeah, which we have more to share on that.
And like too, Mars runs out of energy. I think we kind of already said that earlier. A lot of Aries people, some of my favorite Aries people, like my mother, are known for taking naps because you do a whole bunch of stuff, you burn a whole bunch of energy, and then you get tuckered out and you need to take a little nap.
Honestly, same though. This last weekend, we napped for like an hour and a half, both days. Like Saturday, we took a nap. Sunday, we took a nap.
We've been working really hard.
We have. Yeah. Oh, it was definitely a moment of exhale, a moment of like relief. Like we got through some inspection stages with the moving and stuff, and it was just like, oh my gosh, okay, we can breathe for a moment. We're through the bit. Or some of the worst bits. Yeah, but yeah, I love that comment.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes, I've noticed anger and frustration out there.
And I don't know how much more I was planning to talk about this later, but what I'll say right now is I really noticed that it was a big result of me not taking care of myself. We've been so busy on this home mission. Aries is my fourth house. And so, this change in home as we're planning it, the buying and selling, oh my gosh, this has been very consuming of my time, energy, and resources. And, I packed up all my workout equipment to stage the home. I haven't been working out. And that is like emotionally hitting me in a way right now that I'm realizing. Yeah, anyways,
Yeah. I mean,
that's enough to say.
I worked out yesterday for the first time in like weeks, and the instant switch that it had, like the instant impact,
the fire,
like it just on so many levels, it like helped shift me in like such a more positive direction. So I feel like that working out, I mean, especially like throwing heavy things around. I love to kettlebell. I have a kettlebell that I got for Christmas, and I've been really into kettlebelling. And there's something about throwing the heavy thing around and kind of swinging things. Like it just hits something. It hits something, and maybe it's my Venus in Aries. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh my gosh, we haven't even pulled up the wheel. Do you want to pull up the wheel?
Sure, we can pull up the wheel. Yeah.
You know, we're circling the drain on Saturn here, which is really important inside of this lunar cycle, because let's see. So we have the moon right here at 12 when this is exact, and just before the moon would have happened, we have Saturn here at 5. So in the few hours before the moon was just absolutely full, the moon would have made an opposition, well, first with Mars, then with Neptune, and then Saturn. And so this relationship with Saturn, or this relationship with worries, fears, challenges, hard lines, limitations, boundaries. I mean, there's some of that darker stuff, that shadow work that is kind of being trudged up at this time right now, because just in the balsamic phase, in the darkest part of the moon where we are most reflective, that's not the balsamic phase, never mind. Anyways, it's part of what's going on right now. It's really coming up, and I heard it from a whole bunch of people in the last day and a half. And so, yeah, just really realizing that Saturn is the exaltation ruler of Libra and is in a terrible condition inside of Aries. And so we're just starting to see some of the difficulties of the new stuff that we're experiencing that it's coming up in a big way for us.
It's a position with lots of opportunity.
Yes. Well, and it's a position early on in this journey. You know, Saturn will be in Aries for the next 3 years, to let go of some of the stuff that you don't need.
Let it go.
Sometimes the first part is the letting go part. And that can be, especially if you're finding yourself angry or frustrated, or in some sort of like relationship pattern that you're seeing happen in multiple places. It's time to go inside and unpack that so you can release that, so you can kind of fire horse more freely, so you can gallop more freely.
Yeah. It's just great because I've had a few sessions recently that have been heavily focused on releasing beliefs, releasing these like limitations on the self, releasing these old programs that were keeping them stuck, keeping them stagnant, and it was like just this moment of usually frustration and like irritation, like, oh, I'm just done with this, like why can't I just let this go? And it's like, well, because you're here at this point to let it go at that deeper level, to sync up your conscious and your subconscious, to help you to really not just like think that you've done it, but to like know and like feel that you've done it. Also, I wanted to say hello,
Hi, Ocean.
Wonderful to see you. Hope you're doing well. Sending you all of the love.
I love the comment about the intensity of the emotion. Yes, with the square to Jupiter and Cancer, we're going to get to these big emotions. They are coming up, but you know, what a great way to start a fresh new beginning with a clean slate. And that's what some of this emotional release is coming up for, or at least some of the emotion to process and then release is coming up for. It's to help bring that balance internally, especially at this time, because it does start from within any of these relationships. Like, you are on one side of the scales, like Libra, the scales, the symbol for Libra. And so like, working through the disharmony within is the best thing that you can do at this time.
Mm-hmm. And I love that too. You're coming in with all the good comments, Ocean, as always. What a great time to be alive and to make our healing a priority. Absolutely. interesting about the earthquake? I mean, I feel like full moons, don't they talk about the full moons and like the
absolutely
the pole, the tides,
there's probably
something
some
like
sort
that.
of line running through, what did I say, Indonesia?
Indonesia, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, there likely is something running through there right now. So if you're needing help seeing the shadow, okay, let's run around the wheel for a little bit for a moment here. Maybe you're Cap or Cancer rising, and this full moon is showing up in the axis of 4 and 10 for you. So your home and your career. What's going on at home? What's going on in your career? Did I already talk about that? I think I already did, because I just went there, and that's me. I'm a Cap rising. Maybe you're a Gemini or a Sag, and this is happening in 5 and 11, and you're seeing a lot going on in your kids' lives or your creative projects or your hobbies, and the way that that is requiring balance with a group of friends or allies or a new group of people that you're kind of pulling together, and how that is all working together versus what you are doing for yourself. Maybe you're a Taurus or Scorpio rising, and this is showing up in 6 and 12. And this is really triggering your health habits and routines, the way you take care of yourself on a daily basis, both physically and mentally, and kind of the work that you need to do to maintain both a physical world, but also like a strong interior and spiritual world. This can be Taurus, Scorpio risings right now. I think this is a pretty big lunar cycle for you for sure, just because with Libra being ruled by Venus, and then Taurus, there's a lot going on there. Jake, Libra rising.
Oh yeah. I was reflecting on that because I mean, both the positive sides of this and also the shadow sides of this have been definitely coming up. But the really like me and who I am, and like people's perceptions of me too, and like the emotions of all of that have really been highlighted in a lot of different ways. And I feel like I'm at this point of like choosing a new perspective of like looking at it, choosing a new way of like understanding like me and the other, and how that like affects me. Because for those of you who aren't a Libra, it is tough to be a Libra sometimes. This is so hard. Feel for us, because like the
You're beautiful people,
the
Libra risings, Libra suns.
Yeah, I mean it can be heavy to be, especially if you're unbalanced, to be thinking so much of the other, or to be in such a constant like flip of like my perspective, my thoughts, their perspective, their thoughts, because you really do, you go back and forth, and it's that
it requires a ton of vulnerability too, because Libra generally is the masculine or the initiatory, but it's the initiatory feminine, and so it really takes like quite a bit of trust in self and the ability to be vulnerable, to put yourself out. And we talked about this a little bit in the previous episode too. But yeah, big hearted folks.
Also, hi Jill. Good to see you.
Hey Jill. One of the other things, someone earlier had talked about kind of the convergence of the layers, or the multiple ways that it shows up. Shadow work comes up as a big theme here. Also, when we use derived houses, which is one of my favorite things to do to think about a collective reading here, is just where you take the house and sign where the moon is, especially if you're reading a moon here, and you bring it to the ascendant, and then you kind of look at what's going on. And so when I look at Venus in that, she's in the 8th house of this derived moon. And so that, again, this idea of shadow work, or this, it's almost like a Venus retrograde kind of vibe, in the sense of going through, you had the vision.
Yeah, you were telling me about this like Venus, and how she was like
Venus dealing with her collective trauma,
and difficult terrain too. Like she was navigating this difficult terrain, this bumpy ride. And I just had this image of Barbie like in a big pink Jeep, like with big old wheels, and she's like, careening over this like really uneven, difficult terrain, and like And then you jumped in with
Well,
like
yeah,
her
because
magic
she's
toolbox.
well, because it is Venus in Taurus, so she's in a great power position for herself right now. She loves to be in Taurus, so yeah, Venus has all of the resources that she needs to make the best outcomes happen here.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a very optimistic message because it's super starseed Barbie, and yeah, she has a magical she has a magical toolkit.
Super starseed
Yep.
Barbie. I think you're talking about Soul.
Yes, absolutely.
Soul Rita.
But yeah, I mean, she can use Reiki to help heal your body.
Oh, that's
She
good.
can manifest things through her purse to help people that she comes into cross with.
Oh, it's so funny. Don't you see it though? Don't you see it?
But the real message is there is so much opportunity in doing the shadow work right now because we're very well positioned from the stars, from the universe, from your higher guides, from yourself to find the diamond in the dark. There we go. Starseed Barbie finding diamonds in the dark.
Well, and with that image, that visual, I mean, we were talking about like the magic toolbox, having everything she needs.
Yeah.
I really think about like the Fool, the tarot card, the Fool, yes. And how it's very Aries energy. It's very like, I'm jumping off this cliff and I don't know where I'm going, but don't worry, I've got everything I need. I'm going to be fine. I've got this. And yeah, I just that was another like image that I had too of the Fool and how that ties in.
Yeah. So if you find yourself in like a tricky relationship place, a tricky energy place, a tricky values shifting place, well, Venus is going through a transit with Pluto coming up very shortly after here. There'll be like a square that is starting to build kind of over the next week or so. We'll see Venus and Pluto come into a square. So heads up to like the first handful degrees of the fixed signs, because that will really be feeling that. And but you are so supported and prepared and I don't know, promoted in doing this work at this time. Oh, Jake, you had a wonderful story. And yeah, because the idea here really is reclaiming your power and reclaiming your agency and taking back your value, realigning your tastes and preferences in a new way that's for the best and highest good of you. I'll be really interested to see what happens in the financial markets through this kind of period in time, because Uranus will also be, I think it'll still be at 28. It won't be at 29, but definitely at those final degrees. And so, yeah, it'll be interesting to see the little shakeup that we have in the next week or so here. But that'll be a big energy that's coming right off of this Libra full moon. And Jake, this client story about reclaiming energy.
Oh yeah. As we were again talking about this, I was like, it's always fun to me to see how the things coming up in our lives, the things coming up in clients' lives, like we're all experiencing these energies in our own way and our own flavor. And even things that, people plan to have these sessions with me weeks in advance. And then we come to this moment and it's just always beautiful to see how the energies of the moment are expressed. Anyway, had this story or this client come to me, and part of what came through, she had described this person to me, and this man was, in her words and mine, like an energy vampire. He was someone who came in pretending and putting on the air of like someone who was here to help you and heal you and like, don't worry, I got you, and then would manipulate you and then start to siphon off your energy, suck your energy. I'm sure some of you have experienced that, right? We've all had those people who just take and don't give. But what was interesting was she had, before our session, she had uncovered, either through meditation or reading, she'd uncovered that she had this past life with this man, and they were working on developing their gifts, but working on more the dark side of things, the darker side of the energy workers. And what she realized, she had this epiphany during the session around how she was still carrying some of the guilt from that lifetime, and that in this lifetime she's chosen to go the path of the light. And yet she's having this knowledge come up of this lifetime where she chose the dark path, as a way of integrating, a way of forgiving herself. I mean, that was the big overarching message, and I'll touch on this in a bit, because it really like hits home on so many levels. But this idea of forgiving yourself, and that she needed to forgive herself so that she would stop punishing herself and shutting herself off from her gifts, because she was struggling to communicate and connect with her higher self. She was struggling to step into her power in quite a few ways. And so it's just so on the nose of seeing your shadows, seeing like literally a life where she was in the shadows, working in darker ways, and those lower vibratory experiences, but having that awareness so that you can integrate and heal those parts of you rather than it festering.
Yeah. And I definitely think, we've said, oh, we're going to talk about Jupiter a little bit here. And this idea of forgiveness is just really emphasizing that moment that we're at post the station of the Jupiter retrograde at 15 Cancer. Jupiter still at 15 Cancer. It's direct now. It's just not moving very fast. But it really is about stepping into that water of healing for the self. And that is really brought up, and we need to be clearing our own personal traumas. And yeah, compassion and forgiveness for yourself is always just such a big moment in it, especially if you have been angry or frustrated, forgiving yourself for getting to that place, for how maybe you treated other people at that point in time. Really important to make sure that you aren't holding on to any of this negative energy moving forward. I love this idea of laying down the sword and looking into your heart. And I think when we go back to Cancer, when we go back, to the heart of things, I think it's really important that we're addressing the emotions right now. They're really coming up in a very big way. But, when we get into the water, when we step into the flow, we really can shift things. And that's, maybe the fire is struggling to burn for you, but you could play with the water. And so we're done talking about the shadow, because when you do that, you get to instead blow bubbles. So, which was really interesting. I was wondering how this was going to weave in. The Sabian symbol for this full moon at 12 Libra is about imagination and about blowing bubbles. It's about being playful and kind of learning how to play, and how play is just as important as work. And I just thought that this was a really fun concept because of how, and we'll talk about this more in our show, but imagination has really been part of, and play has really been part of the manifestation work that we've been doing, or at least that's kind of, in my opinion, some of what's really like kicked it into gear. And yeah, so stay tuned for that show next week where we talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll just like throw into, I mean, the ways that I work is through the imagination. Like that is how we create our reality and understand the multitude of realities and dimensions that we access. I mean, the amount of times that someone will like ask me, well, how do I know if I'm making it up? It's like, well, because why would you make something up? You're here for healing. You're here for understanding. You're here for clarity. You're not here to gas yourself, and the emotions, we're talking about emotions. The emotions can be something that show us what is true for us, and show us that resonance, because the emotions, as they come through and are expressed, I mean, sure, you can have false emotions, but there's authenticity there. There's a resonance there. It strikes a chord,
Yeah. And you got to the authenticity part, and it's like, the play, the imagination, the creation, the authenticity that comes through that in the end, I think is so key and so important, especially for where we're moving into, especially as folks are trying to create what's right for them and the vision of what they want next inside of this world. And I think right now this full moon is asking us, especially as those of us who are out on the streets, organizing, volunteering, working in local groups, working in online groups as well. is how can I bring more fun into what I'm doing? How can we all benefit from having more joy inside of the work that we are doing? How can we revolutionize what we're doing by bringing play back into this? What would make this more fun? And we just, like maybe we're trying to unshame fun. But Jake had a fun little short.
I have a little short.
Yeah.
One of our fave musicians, her name's Queen Herbie. She's real fun. She's silly too. It's great. She's great vibes, but she has this song where the opening line is about being whimsical, and specifically about someone being unwhimsical, right? And her getting upset at them for being so unwhimsical and not being able to see the possibilities in life. And so she put this short up today, and it was just so funny. So
great timing.
It was great timing.
Queen, I don't want to be unwhimsical. How do I be more whimsical, Queen? Whimsy is literally good for your brain. It breaks the stress cycle, calms your nervous system, fuels creativity, and replenishes your energy. It reduces inflammation, disease, and depression, babe. It's not childish. It's creative defiance against dullness. Queen, I don't...
It's just such a vibe. And
don't want to be unwhimsical. What a phrase.
I don't want to be unwhimsical.
I don't want to be unwhimsical.
And like, why would you want to be unwhimsical? That's so sad. I feel like my love of whimsy like is rooted in my childhood love of Dr. Seuss and some of the like fantastical fantasy worlds that you had access to there, and like just the silliness of it, but also the like the ways that helped you to understand yourself on a deeper level, understand the world on a deeper level. I mean, whimsy might on the surface seem silly or fantastical or whatever, but it really is such a key thing. And we just had
as you talk about it, you like light up with joy.
Yeah. So. I mean, the last weekend, 2 weekends ago, did the Creative Genius workshop with Anne Jersh. Some of you were there. It was great. But that theme of unlocking your creativity, tapping back into your creativity, bringing your creativity back to the world. I mean, creativity, whimsy, joy, laughter, fun, like these are all the energies that we need to be tapping into, because these are the high vibe energies, and like don't let yourself get pulled into the lower vibes.
Back to the Venus shadow that we all might collectively be going through, if it wasn't the first Saturn shadow that we talked about. But it's like, maybe you haven't allowed yourself permission to like enjoy these things, or like to do this. And so
yeah.
Oh
my gosh, Emma, you've got to tell me about this musical. Is it a past life? Were we in musical theater together? I can definitely see it. I feel like
it was a great dream.
I can definitely see it. I mean, I was in musical theater for a bit. I mean, I feel like you can probably tell that I have some of that like ex-theater kid energy. Hopefully in the best way. I mean, I was a part of that group, that goes to the local diner and like just causes absolute havoc, because they're like, there's 15, 20 theater kids and they're all screaming and they're singing and they're eating too many milkshakes, and it's just like a mess.
Now we're back to like that first Aries thing.
Oh my God, Laura, good to see you. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Sending you all the love.
Happy Libra.
Happy full moon.
And so, again, creativity is the higher vibe. Authenticity is the higher vibe. Blowing bubbles is the higher vibe.
I was also in a music video, though. I was in a couple music videos. Did you find that on YouTube? Oh my God, did I share that with you? If I haven't,
think so.
If I haven't, y'all,
that's a different show.
That's a different show. But I was in a few music videos. Yeah, I was. I'm
not on his channel.
They're not on my channel, though. But I should share them.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love it. So back to
blowing bubbles.
Well, I think we're done with blowing bubbles.
Yeah, that bubble popped.
Have some whimsy, guys. Embrace your whimsy. But back to the theme of loving yourself and self-love and self-care, which y'all are feeling clearly.
And the abundance of need for that right now, to be tending to yourself, to your emotions, to mothering yourself.
Yeah, of course you're an Aries. Yeah.
Fire horse.
Yeah.
And so we've said it a few times, but in Libra, the scales, you are one of the sides of the scale. And the relationship that you have with yourself is so paramount to any relationship that you are going to be having with a romantic partner, a friend, business people, that sort of thing, whatever, your pets even, these are all mirrors and, reflections on what's going on the inside. And so practicing love, and maybe we're just going to talk about this in every video coming on, but practicing this grace, respect for yourself, this is really going to help to put you in right relationship with yourself, to bring you back to center in a good, easy way. And like, I love standing in the mirror and saying, I love you a whole bunch of times until I laugh. But a great practice that we're talking about right now, and we're bringing in some of the astrology here because Mercury is trine Jupiter right now. Mercury in Pisces is trine Jupiter. So we're bringing in some of that Mercury communication energy and talking about just writing it down, writing a love letter to yourself. This could be something, whatever you do inside of your moon ritual tonight, whether you put some crystals out or some water out to charge, sit down and take a little bit of time and just reflect on how you love and care for yourself. And write that down. It's going to be really potent to do that. You can come back to it in the next few weeks as Aries season continues, or when, like I said, when Mars enters on the 9th and turns up the heat a little bit. But it just will be, it's kind of the recommendation on the ritual is just write a love letter to yourself, toot your own horn, be your own cheerleader, step into your own divine power.
Yeah. And, just circling back to, the client from this week was called by her higher self to forgive herself from other lifetimes as well as this one. And what was funny is she told me she was an Aries rising. How poignant, right? Forgiving yourself. The focus is loving yourself.
Yeah. 1 and 7. Yeah. And the energy vampire. Interesting. Yeah.
Right. Very interesting.
And we've heard this in a couple other places, but Ho'oponopono coming up more and more frequently, whether it just be people telling a story or it be on like the YouTube scroller or whatever. But that's a great way to be practicing this kind of forgiveness, empathy, compassion, unconditional love thing. Ho'oponopono is so powerful. I definitely have enjoyed doing that myself. So it's something that I would recommend.
The other day, this Monday, I was walking around the pool and I spent about an hour and a half saying it to myself because Mondays can be tough for me and I can fall into a spiral of like, oh, I didn't do enough over the weekend. Oh, I have so much to do. Oh, but I don't have the energy. Oh, but how can I do it all? And you just beat yourself up and you go in the spiral. And I was like, no, break in that cycle. And then I used it in a session this week too. Someone else was talking about it. There's just been so many moments of this like coming back around. And I feel like that prayer is so important right now. That energy of like, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. It's just so simple and straightforward and so needed.
Well, and I say it all the time. The simple things are like often, in my opinion, the more true and the more kind of divine things. And I think it's really potent. Mars, the ruler of Aries, is still in Pisces right now too. And so this watery side of the fire, or the need for some of this empathy, compassion for Ho'oponoponoing, walking around a pool and saying Ho'oponopono, look at that for the astrology right now, is still very much required, until Aries steps, or Mars steps into Aries on April 9th. And that brings us to, I think, our last topic here.
Explosions.
Yeah. And someone just said, boom. So I shout out to whoever. I can't see Laura. The chat that well. Boom. I don't know what that was about, but boom, you're right, Laura. You knew that we're finishing here just because when Mars comes back into Aries, first time it's going to be there in 2 years, y'all. This is very exciting. That's what I was saying. The Emperor has returned. There's just going to be such a surge on the fire. And if you have lightened your load by doing some of the shadow work and forgiving yourself and let go of some of that baggage, when Mars starts to come through some of these first degrees, ooh, everything that's been sizzling, everything that's been heating up, boom, boom, it goes, because it's time. You're aligned with the moment. and ignition will happen, and you will take off, and you will soar. Whatever you have been manifesting, it will all start coming through, because Mars will, go over Neptune, it'll go over Saturn, and it'll just be really carving a second path through the trail that's already being blazed right now. So yeah, it's just, it gets really exciting. At the same time, we have the last full moon in Uranus happening right now, where Uranus is in Taurus. And so some of those kind of final purge explosion moments that are happening inside of our physical world, that's coming up in the next couple of weeks here. There's just quite a bit of explosive energy that is kind of coming in. And we said this earlier, if the first, act of this chapter is like getting rid of and purging so you can take off, then by golly, thank goodness you did that, because yeah, you're going to soar much higher in the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I've had such a theme of release coming up in sessions lately, whether it be releasing beliefs or releasing these old patterns. I mean, that idea of forgiving yourself, like Jill says here, sometimes forgiveness takes practice to let it be in the past and not the present. And I feel like that's why these sorts of like prayers are helpful, because it helps you to, with that repetition, leave it in the past, not have to forgive yourself in this present moment, but to understand that you have forgiven yourself, that it is already done. I feel like I'm hearing our friend Beth, who might still be in the chat, saying, it is done, it is done, it is done. Like this idea of that, declaring that statement, saying, no, I have forgiven myself, not I forgive myself. I've forgiven myself. Mm-hmm. And remembering that your words have power. Your words are spells. You can spell with the words that you say. And so I struggle with this. So I'm here with you on this struggle, but sometimes it doesn't feel authentic, or like you might not believe the words right away, but forcing yourself to say them. I think it was probably like the 45th minute of saying it where I started to feel a little more authentic in saying it, rather than like I was just reciting something, right? Yeah. And maybe Emma, I feel like there's this constant ebb and flow of the dimensions. I had in a session recently where the higher self was talking about dimensions as waves, and how the waves can sometimes like swell together, and you have this like overlap, or this connection point, or this kind of slippage. And so I feel like it's less final. It's more of an ever evolving process,
But when you talk like that, I just want to say, Aries season is a moment where the waves are closer and tighter together. Leo season as well too, especially because Jupiter will be stepping into Leo around then, and that will kind of be another moment where 3 and 5 might be feeling really close together. But yeah, we're entering a new act here. We're entering a new phase of the astrology shortly after this moon here, and so things are
so fun. We're closing on our house on the 17th of April. We're moving into such a new chapter for us. It really is like, it's exciting time.
Explosions. Things are going to look different. Like the physical world will begin to change. How? We're all creating that together.
We'll see. I mean, I was saying this the other day. Like I feel like there's going to be more of a surprise than we think there's going to be. I feel like you were talking about Uranus, and Uranus is like shakeups and the kind of surprise twists and turns. And I feel like with some of this, we think we have an idea. We think that, this could happen or that could happen. And I think there's many people who have bits and pieces of the truth, but I see this all the time with the future work that I do. You understand what you can in the present moment of what you see, what you glimpse in the future. But these people tapping into the future, you tapping into the future, you're seeing it from the present perspective. And so there's this element of unknown with what is to come, because you don't see the whole picture. You can't. It's not possible unless you're like taking that higher self perspective, which you'll see that for a bit, but then you come back into here and you're like, you're seeing it from this perspective. And so I feel like there needs to be this openness and this curiosity about like, all right, well, and for me, it really helps to say, okay, my higher self has got my back here, like they see at least a little bit more than I do, and whoever's helping them sees even more. And if we go up to the oversoul, or however high you want to go in the conceptualization of us as souls, but like there's this faith and this trust element with the Aries energy too, where it's like, I don't know where I'm going entirely, but I'm gonna trust and have faith in it, and go inside. Ask your higher self for support. Ask your higher self for help. I love the last line that you wrote in our notes. Going to the moon? No. Going inside to reconnect with the divine feminine. Don't get distracted. I feel like there's so much distraction out there, and these sorts of hooplas are definitely distraction. And the ways that they tout the price tag to us, and they're like, oh, look at that. And I'm like, you shouldn't be spending $20 billion on that. That's not worth it. Let's not do that. Where's that money really going? But anyway, beside the point, we're rambling now. Happy full moon to you guys.
Yeah, happy Libra.
What's going on with you guys? Oh,
Carol and Ben.
Carol and
Hi,
Ben.
guys.
You guys made it.
Yo.
Just in time. Happy full moon. Oh, don't even worry. You can watch the replay.
Y'all are just
we're a hoot on replay or live. Don't worry. All right. Happy Libra full moon to you guys. Reminder, let us know in the comments what's going on for you.
And truly, though, the next one is when we're moving.
Oh my God, yeah. I don't know if we'll be here for that. We'll try. It might be a nice reprieve from the moving. I don't know. We'll see how we're feeling.
Hopefully we've the internet connected.
Wait, is it after we've moved?
It's the day we close.
The day we close. Yeah, I know, but I think we were talking about doing it a bit before.
From the back of the U-Haul. Live from our U-Haul.
I mean, we could hop on the mobile and we'll just have it real casual.
Cats hollering in the back seat.
Oh Lord, it's gonna be fun. Luckily, we're not driving across the country. We're just driving.
But yeah, let us know what's coming up for you. If you have any shadow coming up, I'm sending love and light to you as well. And yeah, I got nothing.
Hit the like button,
everyone.
Subscribe, join us for our moving show next week. Yes. And maybe that's what we're doing instead of the moon show. We'll see. I've got some session excerpts. I'm sharing some of my own session and some of the stuff that came through, so you guys can listen back to that. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be fun. So I think I was toying with Friday, and then a little bit more coming along later. But oh my God, right? Live in the car. Wouldn't that be fun? No, U-Haul streaming. Live stream from the U-Haul.
Oh, thank you.
It's gonna be wild. Sending you all the love, you all, and thank you for joining us. And yeah, have a wonderful night. Bye, y'all.